So I'm going to expand it so everyone can see.
Oh.
All right, here we go. So I'll be sharing on repositioning tourism development through emotional intelligence. And I've already said a few things about that. All right, let's move to the next slide. All right, so I know a lot has been said about tourism as it relates to different aspects, but I like to revisit the definition of tourism. Tourism is the practice of traveling for recreational purposes, for leisure purposes, for VFR. Who knows what VFR is? If you know, you can type in the chat room. VFR is just visiting friends and relations, and I hope somebody got that, or for business purposes. So tourism is the art of visiting places in order to make positive impact in that society, environment, or economy. As I think Mrs. Susan, she was one who rightly said that it starts from intention, all right? You have to think about it first before you make that move. Then tourism development refers to the act of creating strategies and plans to grow, increase, develop, and encourage and maintain tourism within a country. Now we are talking about how to improve and maintain and encourage and develop tourism within our country. This is exactly what we are trying to do, all right? So tourism development is also a set of techniques, theories, and activities that promote the tourism industry of a nation. Mrs. Erelu rightly spoke a lot about how culture and religion stands when we talk about tourism development, and all of these things are key. I'll try not to repeat anything they have said so far because they have really dealt a lot on this topic. Now, let's also understand this, that the objectives of tourism development within this country are four basic aspects of these objectives. The first one is political, the second is environmental, the third one is economical, and the third one is socio-cultural. All right, so when we talk about the political, we're talking about how it gives us revenue, identity, profile. When we are talking about the environmental objectives of tourism, we're talking about the improvements it comes with, habitat, our heritage, and its preservation. We talk about environmental education that it also brings. When we talk about the economical objective of tourism development, we also talk about employment, the multiplier effect, foreign currency and exchange, and then economic regeneration. And when we talk about the socio-cultural objective of tourism development, we are looking at the community facilities, the cultural understanding, cultural traditions, like Mr. Rolu said, the quality of life and relationships. All right. So I want to share with us the impact of tourism. Tourism has three major aspects of impact. And the first one is the economic impact. When we talk about the economic impact, we look at the industrialization, more employment opportunities. We look at the greater markets, income generation, foreign exchange, brand building, liberal trade policies, balance of payments, use of advanced technology, and globalization. I know a lot of people, speakers ahead of me, have dealt and talked about a few of these things. So I'm just running through them until I get to my core area, which is the emotional intelligence aspect of it. All right, so when we talk about the environmental impact of tourism, we look at better infrastructure that it brings, increased investment to improve facilities. We look at preservation of heritage and the infrastructure. We look at the beautification of the areas. A lot of tourist sites were mentioned in the course of this presentation earlier. Now, better leisure facilities. Now, let's look at the impact of tourism, the socio-cultural impact of tourism, because when we talk about emotional intelligence, emotions have to do with human beings and it has to do with people relationships. So we are getting close to where we start digesting it little by little. All right, so we look at improved lifestyle, we look at better leisure, we look at frequent social events, we look at it restricts brain drain too, and then there are marriages that come out from such tourism and life long relationships. How many of us have witness people move from one country to another country, maybe for leisure, or maybe for even other forms of tourism like medical tourism or religious tourism or mining tourism, fishing tourism, the different aspects of tourism. And when they eventually traveled, they got to meet somebody who they were going to spend the rest of their life with. Right. So these are some of the ways through which the socio-cultural impact of tourism, how it affects us. So there is improved lifestyle, there is better leisure, there are frequent social events, and brain drain is restricted because this affects our own culture very well. And then marriage and lifelong relationships, like I have already said. Now, we are getting close to the emotional intelligence, but how do we do this? Let's look at the screen. With tourism, you will likely meet the following sets of people. Now, remember we said tourism earlier has to do with traveling or moving from one place to another for different purposes. Now you would likely meet the travel and ticketing agents who are human beings. You meet currency changers who are human beings. You meet tour operators who are human beings. You meet clients and customers. You meet lodge and catering providers. You meet transport providers. You get to meet information and guidance providers, those who tell you, okay, this is where you're supposed to do, this is where you're supposed to get to. You meet other tourists, all right? You meet other visitors. Then you meet the locals, the people who live where you travel to. And then there are co-travelers that you likely flew the same plane with or enter the same ship with or move the same vehicle with. And then there are recreation providers. These are all the different kinds of people that you get to meet. Now, we're looking at how does tourism impact human relationships. With these different kinds of people you meet, different kinds of relationships eventually emanate from it. So for some, it could be just friendships. For some, it could even end up in marriage, all right? Marriage that brings gives rise to children who are intertribal or intercultural or intercontinental in nature, all right? Who have maybe a father from a particular country or a father from a particular continent and a mother from an entirely different continent. So tourism impacts human relationships by also giving access to opportunities and employment. It also helps to gain understanding and enlightenment and experience. Like Ms. Erelu said something about the origin of Halloween and where they took it from and how they celebrate it and how it brings in money to them. So these are the things that with different ways through which tourism gets to impact human relationships. And then the ease of travel, okay, because with that connection, with such relationships, you are able to travel faster and better. I noticed that so many people have been looking through some names who are online, and I see this person, like I saw a particular Smooth Waka Travels, and you see there are different travel agencies, travel firms who have gathered together here to receive a lot of enlightenment today. So with that, see, there's ease of travel, and then you have connection with these people. With that connection, it is easier than the first time before you met them, all right? There are gifts. Gifts are transferred. These gifts could be beads, all right? Cultural stuff, things from our heritage, our culture, materials. Like one of the speakers spoke about somebody selling a particular heritage item, a particular cultural item, and another person is appreciating it. So these are the different ways through which tourism affects human relationships. Then it brings happiness and satisfaction, all right? You get happy when you move to a new location. You get happy, you make new friends, you see new people, you see new cultures, and you're able to interact well. Now, if these human relationships must be effective, there is need for a proper understanding of emotional intelligence. And I said, and I would like to say now that with emotional intelligence, we can change the narrative. Remember, our ultimate goal is to build a new narrative in the business of tourism in Nigeria. And with emotional intelligence, we can change that narrative, okay? Because We need to know this. We don't have a second opportunity to create a first impression. Please, if you heard that, you can put into the chat room. I usually like being very interactive when I speak. So you don't have a second opportunity to create a first impression, which means that first impression matters. And now you have to meet these different kinds of people at one point or the other while you are traveling, either for business, while you are traveling, either for leisure, while you are traveling, either for some cultural or tourism event. You get to meet one or two or three of this kind of people. And when you meet with them, impression matters a lot. The language we speak, how do we view our nation? You can see I'm wearing a white and green is solidarity for the celebration in our country today. Today, Nigeria is city. And we may not have achieved all we want to achieve as a nation, but we are getting there. It may be slow, we may have been taking slow strides, but we believe that one day we'll get there. And the way we relate with other people when we get to experience these stories, it matters a lot. So that you don't go out there, go to a different country, and you talk down on your nation. All right, we have to be patriotic. We have to be positive about what's happening in our country. Our country might not be the best, but it is our own. All right, many of us come from families where our parents are not well-to-do. Some others come from families where their parents are smokers, drunk people, people who are not responsible enough. But we have not denied such families. Okay, we still relate with them as father. We still relate with them as mother. We still relate with them as sisters and brothers because it is your own. In the same way, Nigeria is our own, and first impression matters a lot. Let's be careful about the kind of impression we give, and this is why we are talking about emotional intelligence. Daniel Goleman, an American psychologist who helped popularize emotional intelligence in the 90s, wrote a book on emotional intelligence, and he wrote on why it can matter more than IQ. He wrote on why emotional intelligence can matter more than IQ, and this book, he wrote it around 1995. And in the book, he was saying that it's not just enough for people to have IQ. It is important that they also have a very high EQ, because we have a lot of people who have a high IQ and very low EQ. And then he said, Daniel Goleman said, that emotional intelligence is the ability to understand your emotions, see how it affects others around you, tune into other people's emotions, and effectively manage your relationships. So when we talk about emotional intelligence, we're talking about you knowing yourself, understanding your emotions, understanding why you do what you do, and then seeing how it affects others around you. You're able to tune into other people's emotions and effectively manage your own relationships. All right, so that is it about emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is the ability for you to understand your own emotions and see how it affects people around you, whether you are aware of it or not. Your emotions is affecting some other person. Like when I came online today about 3 hours ago, the first face that met me was the face of Madam Susan Khan. And when I saw her smiles were very, very infectious and contagious. And I automatically began to smile. All right. So this is something that happens because when you understand your own emotions, you would have to know that your emotions affect every other person around you. All right. So on her own, she may not have known that what she did or how she smiled affected me, but that smile got me, all right, and it got me smiling even for no reason at all. So emotional intelligence is essential. There are 5 crucial competencies of emotional intelligence that you have to know. Now, these are the 5 elements of emotional intelligence, and each one takes you to the other. Let's take it. Let's assume this is a step and we want to climb to the peak. Let's start from the base. The first thing you have to understand about emotional intelligence is self-awareness. The first thing you have to know about emotional intelligence is self-awareness. You have to understand your emotions. Remember the definition of Daniel Goleman, the author of Emotional Intelligence, Why It Can Matter More Than IQ. The first thing you have to do is to understand your emotions. You have your emotions. You are your emotions, all right? You are who you are. Many of us are different, and then we have different temperaments. I don't know if anyone here knows about the temperaments. You can also chat about it in the chat room. I'll talk about them in the chat room. I would find a way to see what's happening in the chat room too. So you talk about, you have your emotions, you have who you are, what, how you behave, how you relate with people, and this is a description of who you are. All right, so we have different kinds of temperaments. We have the cholerics, we have the melancholics, we have the phlegmatics, we have the sanguines. And I don't know if you know about temperament, but if you do know, just in the chat room, let us know what temperament you are. And then most people have a blend of these other temperaments. Now, if you understand yourself to that point, you'll be able to know what triggers your anger, what triggers your happiness, the things that make you react. And that is understanding of self. That is self-awareness. In self-awareness, you understand how you feel and you understand how it affects others. Second is self-regulation. When we talk about self-regulation, now that you understand yourself, you'll be able to control your impulses. You'll be able to control your emotions. You'll be able to hold yourself accountable for how you talk, how you act, what you do. All right, you hold yourself accountable, and you're not able to, you don't see yourself making careless decisions or behaving anyhow, because you are able to regulate yourself. Every ceiling fan, every standing fan or table fan we have in the house has its own regulatory set. So you go to the regulating set and you put it either at the speed of 1, the speed of 2, the speed of 3. In the same way, we really have to put some kind of regulating set in ourselves, so we are able to control our speed, control our anger, control the way we relate or the way we react to things. Because certainly, as long as there are human interactions, there would certainly be offense. But you have to tell yourself that I am in charge of my emotions. I am in charge of how I behave, irrespective of where you find yourself, whether you are traveling, whether you are relating with people of other cultures, because we understand that if people of other cultures, they have some behaviors or some things or some acts or some genuflections that they will do that will mean something entirely different. So you need to bring yourself to the point where you're able to understand other people by regulating yourself first. Now that you have self-awareness, now that you have self-regulation, the next thing you should look out for is self-motivation. And when we talk about self-motivation, you have to learn how to put off short-term rewards for long-term success. You have to put off short-term rewards for long-term success. You have to be optimistic, all right? So a lot of people today, in fact, on social media today, somebody said, don't dare wish me happy Independence Day. Make sure you wish me happy new month. I don't dare wish me happy independence. And honestly, I understand the frustration. I understand the anger, because I too am in the country. But the truth of the matter is that we may not have gotten to where we want to get to, but we are certainly no longer where we used to be. Can everyone still hear me? All right, can everyone still hear me? Hello? Hello?
Hello, we can hear you.
All right, I wanted to confirm that. Thank you. All right, so we may not have gotten to where we want to get to, but we are certainly no longer where we used to be. So for that, we have to be grateful, and we have to be optimistic that tomorrow is certainly going to be better than today. And this is something that we have to internalize. When we have internalized this sufficiently, when we relate with people, when we interact with people, whether people who are traveling into our country or whether people we got to meet when we traveled, we'll be able to motivate ourselves. We'll be able to find something good in other people. We'll be able to find something good in other places, in other cultures, in other countries, in other continents, all right? So we're able to find something good and we're able to talk about it, all right? The next step is empathy. All right, remember we got from the self-awareness to self-regulation to self-motivation. Now, empathy. When we talk about empathy, we mean understanding other people's viewpoints. Like today, I had different viewpoints on tourism. I heard from the person who shared on media and tourism. I heard from Dr. Ibukun, who talked about we looking at ourselves, encouraging ourselves, becoming the best version of ourselves, and moving ourselves. She said something. She said, "Be hard on yourself." Well, I'm already used to. We're already used to hearing, "Be hard on yourself. Don't be hard on yourself." But today, Dr. Ibukun said, "Be hard on yourself." Dr. Susan also said she believed a lot in women. So we see a lot of all of these speakers saying different things from different viewpoints, and we should come to the point where we understand other people's viewpoints. Okay, we understand other people's wants, other people's needs, other people's perspective. How many of us have seen a particular picture where a particular person was standing in front of a number written 6, and then the other person is standing at the exact opposite of that number, and it's showing 9 in front of the person? How many of you have seen that? If you have, let me know in the chat room. All right. So you see that it is all about perspective. From the person's perspective, who is looking at it as a 6, that person is correct, is right. From the other person who is at the other end, who is viewing that same 6 as 9, that person is equally correct. It is all about the matter of perspective. So we have to understand other people from their perspective, know what they are feeling, pay attention to body language, and respond to people's feelings accordingly. You see, some of these things we are talking about under emotional intelligence are things that are not learned in school. All right, like the First Lady of Sokoto, who spoke so well on tourism. She really dealt a lot about all the talk on tourism. You see, she talked deeply about how to understand other cultures. She even made a lot of recommendations, and we too have to come to that point where we are able to understand other people's feelings, understand why people do what they do. Because if we want to be emotionally intelligent, we have to be empathetic, and empathy might be one of the biggest, most important competencies in emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is not taught in our schools, and if you ask me, I'm suggesting and proposing that it should be taught in our schools, because a lot of us, even as parents, we focus on our children's results, our children's academic work and everything, and then they do well academically, they have higher intelligence quotient, but then nobody's really doing much about the emotional intelligence of people. And I'll show you what happens when there is poor emotional intelligence. A lot of things go wrong. All right, so the final competency here is social skills. If we're able to be self-aware, regulate ourselves, motivate ourselves, have empathy, then we'll be able to work with people well. We'll have very good social skills. And when we talk about social skills, we mean working with people positively, managing conflicts effectively. It makes us easy for people to talk to us. It makes it easy for people to relate with us. We're able to learn conflict resolution and improve our communication skills, and even learn how to praise others. All right, look for something good in people. Now, there are a few things that happen when there is poor emotional intelligence, and how does this relate to tourism development? Because even though I'm talking to you on emotional intelligence, the emphasis is on tourism development. How does this affect tourism development? Now, there are a lot of things you see when there is poor emotional intelligence as it regards tourism development. There is aggression, fights, put down, name calling, anxiety and depression is there. There is poor communication, withdrawal, and social problems. Pride and arrogance follows. All right, there's impulsive and careless decisions, insensitivity, and lack of concern when it comes to others. All right, there's conflict, there's misunderstanding, anger, hot-temperedness, and impatience. There's prejudice. You look at this person, oh, because he's white, he must be this. Because he's black, he must be this. Because he's from another country, he must be that. So we cannot afford to be judgmental. And being judgmental is a sign of poor emotional intelligence, because irrespective of the fact of where you're coming from, that person also has their own reason. Like, and that was Mrs. Erelu. I really found her topic very, very insightful. She said that when she went to Indonesia and she saw the way the people were dancing, she understood that, well, this dance may not be better than ours, but it is different than ours. And we don't have this kind of dance, and they don't have our kind of dance. So it's not about being judgmental or prejudiced. It's about understanding that these people are different. So first of all, EI on tourism development, people become prejudiced, people become judgmental, and then there is a lot of fear and mistrust when there is poor EI. Even war happens because of poor emotional intelligence. They were not able to reconcile their differences. Unfavorable policies also happen against other countries, also happen because we are very poor on emotional intelligence. We might be very enlightened, very educated, speak well, talk well, but we know when to talk, how to talk, and how to make sure that what we are saying does not get to hurt another person. Now I'll be sharing a few tips on how to reposition tourism development through emotional intelligence. Now you know what emotional intelligence is, that you are able to tune into your own feelings, you're able to understand yourself in order to be able to, in order to understand how it affects others, and then tune into other people's emotion in order to manage these relationships effectively. Let's look at how do we now reposition tourism development. A lot has been said on tourism development, but if we want to reposition it through emotional intelligence, we should do the following. Number one, we should take time every day to appreciate what is right in the world and what is right in our country. A lot of people are always on the negative, looking at all the things that are not working, talking about all the things that are not working. But believe you me, there are a few things. There are a few things that are working in our country. And for some of those things, we should be grateful, all right? That we should act, speak, and behave in ways that portray our country in good light. We should not speak against our country, no matter what is happening. Other countries also have their own issues, all right? And they are working it out. So we should behave in ways that portray our country in good light. We should increase our word vocabulary with emotional intelligence, compliant words. Words like "it's getting better," is well, we are getting there, we are moving. We should talk to others using the I message. The I message does not emphasize on offending others. Rather, we want to state what is wrong, but you are not making it look like the other person is in the wrong. We should also listen to others with our hearts. We should think before we speak. We should think before we act. We should be more intentional. We should also celebrate people from our culture, all right? We should celebrate people from our country, Nigeria, who are expressing right behavior, right living based on moral values. Let's celebrate those who have the right morals, all right? We've celebrated a lot of stars who have several children everywhere, who have, there are people we celebrate in this country, we put on our major billboards, and they have children in every state of the country. And these are not the values we want to draw for our children. These are not the tradition we want to leave behind. We should be careful. In as much as we don't want to be prejudiced, we don't want to be judgmental, we should push, because whatever we endorse is what will people will eventually assimilate. All right, so let's leave something right for our children. Let's push the right morals, those who are living well, those who are doing well, those who are achieving excellence and getting recognition based on the right things. And let our kids know that these are the ones that you can become like. You don't have to do all the wrong things to become popular. Because honestly, it may be very popular, but it is not a proper behavior. All right, a lot of people want to be popular, but they don't want to do the proper things. We should push that, even as we dwell on tourism development. We should believe in our potentials as people. We should believe in our gifts and capabilities as a people, and be proud to showcase what we have to the world. Nigeria is blessed. Nigeria is so great, and we need to believe in that great Nigeria, no matter what we currently see. We should also patronize our brand, our made in Nigeria goods and services, and we should smile more. Now, if you are still there, please smile. I'm rounding up now, and wherever you are, I know I may not be able to see your face, but just smile wherever you are. As I share with you how to improve your emotional intelligence. I know I've said a lot about emotional intelligence, and somebody somewhere might be asking me, how then do I improve my emotional intelligence? Now, this is it. Number one, if we want to make any change, the change we want to see starts with us, all right? You can say it in the chat room if you heard me right. The change we want to see starts with us. So number one, observe how you react to people. Don't be too judgmental. Don't be too stereotyped in your thinking, all right, or in the way you react. Give others a chance to shine, all right? I know you are loaded. I know you have potential. I know you are powerful, but while you shine, allow others to shine, okay? Sometimes allow others to be the focus. Don't be too selfish and consider others. Number three, do a self-evaluation. Accept the fact that you're not perfect, and there are still areas in your life that you need to work on, all right? And then work on them. Number four, examine how you react to stressful situations. Do you get upset easily? Do you blame others easily? You have to learn how to be calm and to always be in control. Number five, appreciate how your actions will affect others, because whatever you do will certainly affect others, either positively or negatively. So the question is, how will others feel if I say this? How will others feel if I do this? How will others feel if I react in this kind of way? So you have to come to the point where you put yourself in the shoes of others. And my final slide today is what we expect if we work on our emotional intelligence for tourism development? What are the expected outcomes and benefits of emotional intelligence on tourism development? Number one, on the understanding of other cultures will be enhanced. All right, if we show understanding to them, we'll be able to know why they do what they do, why they believe in what they believe, why they dance the way they dance. All right. Number two, there'll be increased revenue because of more tourists spending time in our country. If tourists are spending in our country, they're coming to our country to maybe view our tourist sites or relate with us or with our culture, there'll be increased revenue. All right. Number three, tourism development will be more productive as a result of high EI. Okay. Number four, there will be more jobs because of increase in tourist travels. Number five, our broad national goals will be achieved. Number six, as a result of EI, improvement in tourism development will ensure positive economic, political, environmental, and sociocultural outcomes. All right. And finally, there will be a better and improved perception about our country. This is how we change the narrative. So what we want to do is to change the narratives, the way things are. We want to speak a different language, especially we as women. If we embrace this, others will want to learn from us because we are the game changers. It is commonly said that if you want to raise a nation, raise a woman, because a woman will not raise a nation. These are the few thoughts I decided to share with you today under the topic repositioning tourism development through emotional intelligence. There's a lot more that we can do, but in the little time we have, these are the few things I'd like to share with you. Thank you so much, everyone. And thank you for listening till this time. I understand we've spent a lot of time, but I'm glad you were able to stay till now and you heard everything we shared. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, Nat. Thank you for that powerful presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It's an eye-opener, you know, how we can relate emotional intelligence to our clients and our business partners and really, it all starts with our emotion.
Yeah.
How do we relate? How do we think? What do we think? And especially with women, what's she saying? Why is she looking at me like that? Exactly. What does she mean? We should learn to, you know, what does she mean? Why would she put on that dress? Because she knows I'm going to put on this dress. We need this very much. We need it. We need it. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I will be calling on you every now and then because we really need to work on our emotion, women.
That's true. That's true.
Seriously. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
We have Alaji Rabosa. Are you still here? The EFTAN president.
Yes, so I'm here. Hello.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah.
You have our back always. Thank you for the support and the encouragement you always give us whenever we call on you. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much, Madam Sophia. You know, I'm a man of the women, so I'm always with the women. Well, can I just go ahead and say something a little?
Yes, please. Sir.
Yes, please.
Well, as being introduced, my name is Saleh Rabu. I'm the president of the Federation of Tourism Associations of Nigeria, EFTAN. I want to sincerely appreciate the organizers of this program, Women in Business and Tourism, and the presenters who have presented here today. I think they've done a fantastic work, especially the last presenter, Ifoma. She has touched on very, very important things, especially the emotional intelligence. It has a lot to do with us that are dealing with human beings. We have to be able to control our emotions. You know, human beings are very difficult to handle. So I think her presentation is quite incisive and very articulate, and I appreciate her for that.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, and I want to also, you know, congratulate the other presenters who presented here today. They've done a very beautiful job. But I think especially the women in business and tourism, they have really told us or tried to show us that the Beijing Declaration is not only done in politics and in the military, which we saw at the Army Parade today, but it's also now applicable to the tourism industry. So we have the women coming in tourism business, and they are trying to really achieve the affirmative mentioned in the Beijing Declaration. So we give kudos to the organizers. And I want to assure you that in EFTAN, we'll continue to support every organization that has to do with the promotion of tourism. Because like said in your theme for today, building a new narrative in the business of tourism in Nigeria, I think we really need to build a new narrative, because we need to look at tourism as business. We don't need to look at it as maybe a service or a social service that is being provided, but it is business. People need to come to tourism to make money, to make a living. So I think, and the woman, if you give a woman the leadership, I am sure you are going to get it much more right, because she's much closer to the family, closer to the children, closer to the people. So it's a very good thing that the women are the ones taking the lead in this aspect. I want to congratulate you for that. And again, one area I want us to really take a look at is this era of virtual presentation. I think is beginning to touch on our industry, because if we continue on this virtual every day, I think we will end up not promoting the tourism per se, because we need to really go out so that the hotelier, the conference organizer, the car hire, the souvenir sellers, everybody will have a little taste of the tourism money. So for us to be able to achieve that, I think we should begin to, organize, even if it is in 20s, in 50s, and then we grow it, because we have to learn to live with the COVID. It cannot leave us completely. We have to just follow the protocols, and if we follow them right, I'm sure we will be able to run our businesses effectively. So let me talk. I think we've spoken so much, a lot, and I have also learned a lot from the presentations here today. So I think it has been a very great day, and October 1st, 60 years is not a joke. Nigeria belongs to all of us. We need to all put our hands on deck to grow Nigeria. We shouldn't always be complaining about Nigeria. I think we make up Nigeria. If we don't contribute, there is no way we can make Nigeria better. So I think everybody has a role to play in making Nigeria a great country, and all of us are in it. It is our ship. We have to steer it all together. So once again, I wish to congratulate Sophia and your team for putting up this beautiful event on the first day of October. And I think it's a very good, nice, and great initiative. I wish us continuous progress in the tourism industry. And I believe we'll continue pushing it, especially the domestic tourism that we are looking at. With continuous push and new initiatives, we'll be able to get it right. So once again, thank you very much, and have a great, great Diamond Jubilee celebration. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. The pattern speech from each of the panelists. So each panelist has 3 minutes to just give us the pattern words.
Let's start with Dr. Munzeli Dantala.
With who? We should start with who, please?
Dr. Munzeli Dantata.
Okay. So are you there? You are muted, sir. Can you please unmute yourself?
Okay. Yes, okay. I can hear you. Was I?
Oh, you're muted again. Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Was I asked a question?
No, your parting words, sir.
Okay, my parting was. Sorry,
Yes,
I'm making my parting words, as you can see, from a car, because the meeting started late and I had to dash somewhere, but I still wanted to stay online to the end because of the importance I attach to this conference. And as I said in my presentation, it's a very important webinar, and the subject given to me about investment, because just like the last speaker, the president of EFTAN mentioned, it's all about business, it's all about investment. Otherwise, it will become a social service. So we have to look at that aspect and always emphasize, even to government, so that we make more money and then government also gets its own share through taxes and levies. With that, I would say I look forward to the next conference, and I hope that it will be a real conference, as also emphasized by most of the speakers. If we continue meeting virtually, the transporters will get less patronage, and the hoteliers and the conference owners, and even the food sellers and souvenir sellers, because we cannot sell this thing through computers and internet. So, but there's a new trend. Technology is changing the world, and it's up to us to see how we can buy in and how we can get our own share from the new technologies. So with that, I say kudos to the ladies, and I look forward to more interaction with you, and I wish you luck, especially this young organization. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate it. Thank you so much for your support. WIBAT Nigeria will be 1 year next month. We promise we are going to have a physical event to celebrate our 1 year anniversary. And probably we might have it at Zuma World Resorts. Thank you, sir. We appreciate it. Thank you for your support always. Thank you. Before my give her own.
All right.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Yes, we can.
Okay. I also sent my parting words. All right. I sent my parting words also in the chat room. It's a poem written by me concerning our country, Nigeria. So let me just read it out, and that will be my parting words. Nigeria, my Nigeria, home to stars despite our scars. Nigeria, my Nigeria, a place so fine that makes us shine. Nigeria, my Nigeria, our beloved fatherland, our great wonderland. Nigeria, my Nigeria, greatness is all I see, for we are born so free. Thank you so much, everyone. My parting word will be, let's keep changing the narratives by what we do, by how we speak, by how we dress, by what we believe in, and how we relate with others. Emotional intelligence is key if we must strive in business and in tourism. And I want to wish all the great women here who are doing a very great work in WIBAT, more power to your elbow. Keep shooting, keep doing your work. May look small today, but very soon the impact will be seen across the nation and across other continents. I want to celebrate everyone here. God bless you.
And I say amen to that prayer. Thank you.
Amen.
Thank you so much.
Let's have Mrs. Sarah, our Deputy President, to give us the vote of thanks.
Okay. It's been a very interesting session today, and I don't regret joining this conference. I want to say a very big thank you to all the speakers. I want to say a very big thank you to our president, Ms. Sophia.
Go ahead, Maria, with you.
Joanna, you did so well. Thank you, Adia, Miriam. Thank you, Dr. Ibuku. Mrs. Susan, you did so well. Mr. Mololu, you were great. Mrs. Erelu, God bless you. And Dr. Dantata, the grandfather, thank you for backing us up. Mrs. Ifoma, you did excellently well. And Alaji Rabo, God bless you for always turning up. I know you're a man of the women. Thank you for always being there for us. And we promise you that the next time we have this meeting is going to be physical, and it's going to be so very interesting. So I just want you to look forward to it. This is just a tip of the iceberg. Thank you very much, and see you soon again.
Thank you. And happy Independence Day, Nigeria.
Yeah, happy independence.
Happy independence.
Enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
Nigeria. I love Nigeria.
I love Nigeria. I like that. I like that. I like that. Ifeoma, you came well prepared. I love that. We love Nigeria. We are always going to be saying positive things about Nigeria. I really tell people that Nigeria is a great country. And one of the things we need to do is to start telling our stories. We don't want to leave it to others to tell again. They tell what suits them, but we'll start telling our story. That's where the media and tourism comes in. The media people need to start telling our story. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Bye.